Imagine this. It's morning, you wake up, and the room is silent. Yesterday's friends, colleagues, and relatives are busy with their own lives, and you're alone with your thoughts. Does that sound familiar? After retirement, many elderly people face the problem of loneliness. But what if I told you that this could be changed in just a few steps? Did you know that loneliness is not just boredom, but a serious threat to your health? Imagine living in an apartment where every day starts with silence and ends with loneliness. At first, it feels familiar, but over time, something changes. Your mental state worsens and a feeling of hopelessness sets in. Loneliness becomes a quiet, yet increasingly intrusive enemy. But why is loneliness so dangerous? When a person doesn't communicate with others, they start to experience stress and heightened anxiety. This affects their physical health. Studies show that chronic loneliness can lead to depression, increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases, and even accelerate the aging process. Yes, this is the reality faced by millions of people around the world, especially in old age. Can loneliness really harm your body? Let's break it down. When you're lonely, you feel detached from the world. This causes stress, and as we know, stress is not just an unpleasant feeling. It can cause high cortisol levels in the blood, which in turn impairs heart function, raises blood pressure, and contributes to the development of chronic diseases. Imagine that your body is constantly under stress. You begin to feel fatigue, joint pain, headaches, and in the darkest moments, a sense of helplessness. This is not just a feeling of being unwell, it's a signal that your body is suffering. But perhaps the scariest part is how loneliness affects mental health. Have you ever felt forgotten? Gradually, loneliness leads to not only depression but also a sense of helplessness. People begin to doubt their worth, their self-esteem drops, and every day it becomes harder to break out of this cycle. Think about how often elderly people may feel that no one cares, no one calls, and every day seems like the previous one. In these moments, the emotional pain can be so strong that it feels like the whole world has forgotten about you. But you know what? That's not true. In this video, we will talk about how to change the situation. You'll be surprised, but studies show that loneliness can be even more dangerous than some physical illnesses. According to numerous scientific works, loneliness, along with smoking and obesity, increases the risk of premature death. It affects everything, from the immune system to hormone balance. How does this work? Loneliness weakens the immune system, making a person more susceptible to infections and diseases. In addition, it disrupts the production of important hormones such as serotonin and dopamine, which are responsible for our mood and mental state. But you know what? Loneliness is not a sentence. It can be changed, and you have the power to overcome this feeling. Yes, it won't be easy, but step by step, with the right approach, you can build new social connections. And simple yet powerful actions can help you with that. We'll talk more about this later, but for now, think. What can you do today to start fighting loneliness? Maybe call an old friend, or sign up for a club activity, or simply go for a walk and start talking to people around you. These small steps are the beginning of a big journey. But how exactly to start if you don't know where to begin? What should you do to break free from this cycle of loneliness? Don't worry, we have a solution, and soon you will learn how to do it. It seems that the first step is the hardest. Is it really? When you step out of your comfort zone, even a small step can feel incredibly difficult. Imagine, you're about to talk to a stranger and your heart starts beating faster. You ask yourself, what if they don't understand me? What if I look strange? These thoughts can be paralyzing, especially when you haven't communicated with people for a while. But it's important to understand, fear of the new is natural, and it shouldn't stop you. We all started with small steps at some point, and to build social connections, you don't have to make giant leaps right away. It all starts with the first, smallest step. You want to improve your life but keep postponing it. All this time while you're not taking action, loneliness continues to surround you. What will happen if you wait another month or a year? Time is passing, and with it, the opportunity to change your life. But what if I told you that right now, today, you can take a step that will change everything? Maybe it will be just a conversation with a neighbor or a call to an old friend. Maybe even a small chat online. Start right now. This is the moment that will change your life. Don't wait for tomorrow, because today is the only day when you have the opportunity to change the situation. The secret is to start small. Many people think that to build social connections, they need to immediately find a new best friend or radically change their life. But in reality, the first step is simply talking to those who are around you. Have you noticed how often we see neighbors but don't pay attention to them? Think about it. Who from your neighbors or acquaintances could be your first step towards socialization? Maybe it's that person you used to say hello to but never spoke to, or someone you always see in the elevator but never talk to. It all starts small. Just say hello or ask how their day went. This could be the beginning of something bigger. Interesting fact, volunteering is one of the best ways not only to help others, but also to make new connections. Think about it. When was the last time you did something nice for others? When you help, you feel your worth. And this not only improves your emotional state, but also allows you to meet new people who share your values and interests. What other ways can help you build connections? Join interest clubs, sign up for classes in local organizations, sports sections, art classes, music groups, cooking courses. These are not just ways to spend time, but also doors to new acquaintances. Imagine how much your life could change if you started doing something you enjoy and, at the same time, meet people who share your interests. Have you ever thought that the internet could be your key to new acquaintances? Many elderly people think that digital technologies are complex and inaccessible. But what if I told you that the internet is a vast world of communication opportunities, including with people who could become your new friends? How to start using the internet to meet new people. Today, there are many platforms, forums, and interest groups where you can communicate with people without leaving your home. Join forums where they discuss your favorite topics, or join groups on social platforms that resonate with you. Maybe that's where you'll find new friends or like-minded individuals. Sometimes, to build social connections, you need to take the initiative. But how do you do that if you haven't communicated with people for a while? Many people think that new acquaintances happen by chance, that they should just happen on their own. But in reality, it all depends on your desire. If you want to change your life, start taking action. What if I told you that taking the initiative is the very step that can start a chain of positive changes? Write to an old friend you haven't seen in a long time, invite a neighbor for tea, sign up for a course you've been wanting to take. All you need is that first step. But what do you do once the acquaintances are made? How do you maintain new connections and keep them from fading away? This is an important point. Many people make the mistake of thinking that meeting or talking once is enough to solve the loneliness issue. But it's important to remember, maintaining social connections is work. What helps keep relationships strong? Regular communication is the key to long-lasting and strong friendships. Call your new friend, invite them for a walk, send a message, or simply tell them about your day. It doesn't take much effort, but it shows you're interested in continuing the conversation. But what if you've started talking but don't know how to deepen the relationship? How do you turn new acquaintances into real friends? Let's figure that out now. Think. When was the last time you did something that brought you joy and you lost track of time? For most people over 60, there's often a feeling that time has passed, that it's no longer as easy to start something new. But in reality, hobbies are not only a way to have fun, but also an excellent opportunity to meet new people and build social connections. How can hobbies help you connect with others? It's simple. A hobby is something that brings together people with common interests. When you're doing something you enjoy, you start communicating with people who share your passion. It's a great way to find new friends, even if you live in a small town or neighborhood. All your interests become a bridge that will take you to new acquaintances. But how do you choose a hobby that suits you? Perhaps you've already thought that to make new friends, you need to start something fashionable or popular. But it's important to remember, a hobby should bring you joy, not be a trendy obligation. Imagine you love drawing. Why force yourself to do something else? Art and creativity are great ways to express yourself and make connections. Drawing, painting, or even simple crafts could lead to participating in workshops, exhibitions, or meetings with artists where you can meet people. Maybe you prefer active pastimes. In that case, walking clubs, yoga, swimming, or gymnastics classes could open up new horizons for you to socialize. Being in such clubs, you will be surrounded by people who share your interests, and you can start communicating by exchanging experiences and impressions. But perhaps you don't like doing things alone and want to meet people right away. In that case, public events and active participation in city life are perfect for you. It doesn't matter whether they're concerts, exhibitions, fairs, or theater performances. Participating in such events helps you not only enjoy yourself, but also meet new people. Think, when was the last time you went to an event in your city? It doesn't matter if you've avoided public places before. Now is the time to try. Many cities offer free events for elderly people, tours, parties, cultural and sporting events. This is a great opportunity to meet people and make new friends. Participating in such events will not only be interesting, but will also energize you, which will improve your overall well-being. What about volunteering? Have you ever thought about helping others? More and more elderly people are getting involved in volunteering, and that's no accident. Volunteering not only helps you do good deeds, but also introduces you to people who share similar views and values. What are the advantages of volunteering? First, volunteering helps you feel valued. Secondly, you begin to communicate with different people who could become your friends, life partners, or just good acquaintances. What kinds of volunteer work might interest you? It could be helping to organize cultural events, assisting elderly people, working in animal shelters, or participating in environmental projects. This not only helps you build connections with others, but also gives you a sense that you are truly important to society. But what if you're afraid to start? Sometimes doubts and fears get in the way. We think, what if I can't handle it? What if I look silly or don't fit in? This is natural because starting something new is always stressful. But remember, the hardest step is the first one. Once you take it, everything else becomes easier. Every person, regardless of age, faces the same feelings. But it's important to understand that no one will judge you for wanting to be better. New acquaintances, like new hobbies, are opportunities for growth. With every step, you will feel more confident. And here's the important thing. Even if you feel uncomfortable at first, over time, you'll get used to it and start enjoying new activities. After all, that's what you want, right? Start small. Choose one hobby or activity and dedicate a few hours a week to it. After some time, you'll feel how the world around you becomes brighter. But what if one hobby is not enough for you? Maybe you want to make your life richer and more varied. And that's wonderful. The advantage is that at 60 plus, you have time to try different activities without limiting yourself to just one. What will help you make your life richer? Sign up for classes in several areas: art, music, cooking, dance. All of this can become not just a hobby, but a new way to connect with people. By engaging in different activities, you'll expand your horizons and your circle of friends. And here's what's important. You never know which new acquaintances will lead to interesting, long-term relationships. Maybe it will be a new friend with whom you will travel together, or a hobby buddy with whom you'll find a common interest and start a joint project. The possibilities are endless. When we talk about the internet, what comes to mind? A lot of information, news, stores, and social networks. But did you know that the internet can become your best friend in the fight against loneliness? Maybe you're not used to thinking of the internet as a means of communication, but that's just a biased opinion. In reality, the internet is not just a tool for finding information or shopping. It's a powerful resource for building social connections, open to everyone. Think about how many people around the world are making new friends, sharing their experiences, and communicating through the internet every day. It's possible for you too. Even if you're over 60, the internet can open a new world for meeting people, exchanging experiences, and creating strong friendships, even professional connections. Have you ever tried making acquaintances through social media? If not, now is the perfect time to start. Social networks are an excellent platform for communication, where you can find people with shared interests, age, and even similar life circumstances. Facebook, VK, Instagram, these platforms provide the opportunity to join groups, follow new posts, comment, and exchange private messages. How does it work? For example, if you love gardening, you can find thousands of people who share that interest. By being part of a gardening group, you can not only get advice but also build connections with fellow plant lovers, exchange experiences, and even make friends. But what if you don't want to join large communities? In that case, you can find more niche groups, for example, for people who enjoy knitting, reading books, or cooking. In these small but cozy communities, you'll be able to meet people who feel like family. Social networks open doors for you, and all you need to do is take the first step. And what about forums? Forums are an excellent place for deep and interesting discussions. On forums, you can find people with similar interests and hobbies and share your thoughts, experiences, and feelings. If you love reading books, there are forums for book clubs. If you're interested in sports, you can find forums on healthy living, fitness, swimming. Forums allow you to not only exchange experiences, but also find like-minded friends. Imagine how exciting it would be to meet a person with whom you discussed your favorite book or movie, and then meet in person or continue the conversation through messages. Perhaps this forum will become your new social circle, supporting you along the way. How to get started? Simply choose a topic that interests you and start participating in the discussions. It all begins with one comment, and who knows, maybe this person will become your lifelong friend. When it comes to technology, we can't forget about online courses. Modern technology offers many platforms where you can not only learn but also interact with other participants. Video conferencing programs like Zoom or Skype help people find like-minded individuals, discuss topics, and share knowledge. How does this help build social connections? For example, you can sign up for an online course on a topic you're interested in, whether it's drawing, music, cooking, or programming. Many of these courses have forums for communication, chats where students can discuss assignments, share experiences, and of course make acquaintances. Online courses offer an opportunity not only to grow, but also to create new connections and interact with people from all over the world. Have you ever thought that an old friend could become a new friend through the internet? It's possible, and such courses can be a great opportunity to meet people with whom you'll enjoy communicating. Do you think dating apps are not for you? Well, you're mistaken. In recent years, mobile apps like Tinder or Bumble have been used not only to find romantic relationships, but also to make new friendships. More and more older adults are using these apps to communicate and make new friends. How does it work? Simple registration, selecting your interests, and meeting people who also want to communicate. Through these apps, you can find people near you, as well as interact with those who share your hobbies. Some apps are specifically aimed at a more mature audience, providing an easy-to-use interface and safe communication. Dating apps are not only for romance, but also a real opportunity to make new friends and break free from isolation. It's a new world of communication with no age limits. Have you ever thought that communication can continue even without the participation of other people? Chatbots and automated groups can come to the rescue here. Many social platforms and messengers offer opportunities to chat with bots that can hold conversations on various topics, help find necessary information, and even direct you to online courses. How does this work? For example, if you're lonely, you can chat with bots that will help you find topics of interest, offer participation in new groups, and even give advice on social activity. There are also groups where people chat with bots about shared interests, which helps people feel less isolated and engage in new connections. But what about security on the internet? This is a concern for many people, especially older adults. How can you protect yourself from scammers who might try to exploit your trust? It's important to remember that the internet can be safe if you follow a few simple rules. What should you do to protect yourself? First, never disclose personal information or share passwords with strangers. Second, use trusted platforms and apps with a good reputation. And finally, if something feels suspicious, always seek advice from those who understand technology. Don't let fear push you away from the chance to build important connections and change your life. By applying simple safety rules, you can enjoy all the benefits of online communication without unnecessary worries. But what if you're scared and don't want to take risks? It's important to remember that every new step is a step toward a better future, and every time you overcome fear, you become stronger and more confident. Yes, there may be setbacks, but the key is not to stop. Small steps will lead to big results. Are you ready to take your first step? And here it is, your path, the path to a new environment, new friends, and most importantly, a new life. Loneliness is not a sentence, it's a challenge. Pick up the phone, sign up for a course, open social networks, and feel how the world fills with communication. You can overcome loneliness, and you have the strength to take that first step. Don't wait. Act right now.